Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I appreciate the gentleman from Bucks County bringing up the Leach versus Commonwealth case, because that's specifically why I believe that this is not germane. Mr. Speaker, we'll quickly run through that case decision, and he is correct. Previously, I had argued that an issue was germane, and if I was using that same logic today, I would also argue that these two items are germane. However, recognizing the court's position on that case, we must apply that today because that is the case law that we have before us. Mr. Speaker, under House Rule 4, it clearly says questions involving constitutionality of any matter shall be decided by the House. And Rule 27 says any member who may move to amend a bill or resolution provided that the proposed amendment is germane to the subject. And House Rule 20 says no bill shall be passed containing more than one subject. So when you get into the Leach versus Commonwealth court decision that was just recently decided, they highlight the differences. And the court agreed with the petitioners that the primary subjects covered by Act 192, one, which was criminal penalties for theft of copper and aluminum, and the other, a civil cause of action regarding illegal municipal ordinances that were previously preempted by state law, that they were disparate and that they lacked any common clear nexus. Put another way, mixing criminal penalties and creating a civil cause of action was too broad. So we come to the next level of evaluation and regards to the single unifying purpose of the bill. And here they said to conclude that the General Assembly could initiate a piece of legislation in the context of the Crimes Code, which is what we're doing today, and rely upon that concept as a unifying justification for amendments to the bill under the Crimes Code that contain no nexus to the conduct to which the original legislation was directed would stretch the Supreme Court's meaning of, quote, reasonably broad terms. So in other words, the court has clearly said that simply amending the Crimes Code is not in and of itself a constitutional subject for consideration. Furthermore, in the Neiman case, they went on to say that the mere fact that a piece of legislation amends a particular title of the Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes does not automatically fulfill the requirements of Article 3, Section 3, and that rather amending two distinct articles of the Crime Code would cause us to consider once again the issue of germaneness and single subject. Mr. Speaker, this clearly amends two separate articles in the Crimes Code. One does Section or Chapter 27, one does Section 3300. They are fundamentally different. While yes, they are crimes, that in and of itself is not a unifying theme on which we can base constitutionality. And regardless of how passionate we are about the underlying issues, we must, as the Bucks County representative previously chastised me for, we must operate under the existing case law, a case law and a decision that I assume he supported. So therefore, Mr. Speaker, while we never like to pick amongst friends and colleagues or even issues that we're passionate about, we must ensure that we arrive at the constitutional conclusion and keep these two issues separate. Thank you.